Becky Lambert.
Yes. All right, how many intellectuals do we have in the room? How many of you know you're driving are intellectuals? Did the philanthropy thing kill you? Did it like drill a hole in your brain? I thought that was so funny.
Die with your memories, not your dreams.
Yes. All right, I love you, but I'm not coming. Your wife already stole your thunder. All right, I'm coming to the back. I'm going to go to the back because I know there's more takeaways back here. Who's got a takeaway they want to share? All right, right here. I'll walk to you. It's okay. You stay there.
To be present, to go to every event, to attend everything.
Yes. How many of you, hey Steve, it's good to see you. All right. How many of you found like a new level of commitment because of what you heard yesterday? Yeah, right? All right. Did you have your hand up?
For me, it was boundaries and wiggle room.
Okay, I thought that was actually pretty awesome for Michael. That was pretty great. Okay, right here.
Growing your bamboo tree.
Oh, yes. You know, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to share that as well tomorrow morning. So you guys just act surprised like you've never heard it before, okay? All right, somebody over here. Matt, you got a comment?
Yes, are we pursuing comfort or happiness?
Oh, man. Did that hit with any of the rest of you? That hit with me. It totally did.
We all have the same opportunity. Show up and do the work.
Oh, yeah. Everybody is born with let's see, how's that saying go? We're all born equal with the opportunity to become unequal. All right, right here.
Masters were once disasters.
Oh, yes. Doesn't that make you feel hopeful about your opportunity?
Thank you. You're crazy when your dreams don't work out. When they do, you're eccentric.
Oh, yeah. How many of you are in your crazy period right now? The crazy phase of life, right? I get it.
Never quit, whatever you go through, because it's always better if you decide it's better.
You know, that brings me to one of my favorite Winston Churchill quotes, never, never, never give up.
Your mess is your message.
Yes. That's what Yes, I love it. We've shared that one twice now. All right, right here. Will you hand this behind you to Ty?
Of course.
Lucky Charms and filet mignon are both magically delicious.
I don't even know how to comment on that.
The moment you stop dreaming is the moment you die. Oh, yeah. Richard said that.
Yes. Thank you for your contributions. We are going to get this party started for today. But so far, has the conference exceeded expectations? Are you ready to exceed expectations? Are you ready to take it to a new level? Are you ready to be all in? Say, I'm all in. Oh, man. Today is going to be incredible. Sorry. Stop it. I hate when you guys do that. It makes me feel all weird. You know, Woody. Yes, that was Woody right there. Woody is going to be our first presenter today. He's going to kick off the day. And the reason why I'm feeling a little emotional right now is because of how Woody has empowered me to transform my life, and for the tools that he's given me, and for the insights that has brought about in my life. You know, so all right, how many directors do we have in the room? You hear the director screaming? The intellectuals probably won't do that. How many relators? Lots of relators. That makes sense. Intellectuals? That was awesome. They're like, I'll take that challenge, Jay. How many validators? That's right. All the validators are right up front for some reason. How many executives? Yeah, the executives, they want to win. They're not going to let that stand. You know, I've had this conflict. Ever since I was introduced to D.R.I.V.E, I had a little bit of a conflict because every single one of us now, if you understand D.R.I.V.E, you understand that there's the opportunity to be internal and external, right? You guys understand that? Most of you, some of you, kind of a little bit. Well, here's what I have discovered about myself, and that is that nothing drives me more crazy than an external validator. We drive me nuts. It's crazy. And I've realized that each one of us can identify and we relate to our drives and other people so much that when we see the external version of ourselves, we dislike it. And so I've had this conflict going on where I thought, oh yeah, I really don't like being a validator. I don't like it at all. I don't want to be a validator. But then Woody helped me to see the superpower that validators have. And he helped me to understand that when we are internal, we can tap into that superpower to build up other people around us. And I realized that it's not validators are good or bad. It's that being internal gives us the ability to serve and empower other people. And when I had that aha moment, I went, I guess being a validator is not that bad. I mean, I have seen the fruits of what D.R.I.V.E has given me in my family, with my children, with my wife, with myself. The relationship that I have with myself is now completely different because I talk to myself differently, because I understand that I can tap into my core motivations now and I can say, why am I being offended? Why is it that somebody can say something that to them sounds completely benign, but to me sounds like it's drilling a hole in my head? Now I understand why. And it's all because of Mr. Woodward. He's our first presenter, and I am truly honored to call him friend. I am truly honored to build and grow and learn with him. When you spend time with Woody, you'll realize he is always open to learning new things about D.R.I.V.E, about himself, about the people around him. He serves tirelessly. He creates like a madman. And I say that with love. He truly is a creative genius in that he takes complex ideas and breaks them down into small, understandable pieces. And today he is going to absolutely transform each one of our lives if we open ourselves to the opportunity. So get on your feet and welcome to the stage the creator of D.R.I.V.E, Mr. Woodward!
Time. Take out your finger. No touching anybody. It's not that kind of seminar. Just take your finger. I want you to focus on your finger. Look at the scratches, the nicks, the dimples. Pay attention to 100% of the focus on your finger. While looking at your finger, try to see the color green in your mind. By only looking at your finger, looking at the scratches, the nicks, the dimples, try to see the color green in your mind. Can't do it. You don't have picture-in-picture. Your brain does not have split screen. Go ahead and put your finger down. I know you executives, you overachievers. I know I can do it if I just believe in myself. I'm at a seminar. I know I can do it. You can't. Your brain does not have picture-in-picture. It doesn't see two things at once. What you focus on, you feel. What you visualize, you internalize. And what you think about comes about. So let me propose a question. Do you feel the world is conspiring against you or for you? It's a belief, one or the other. Either you believe the world is conspiring against you or you believe it is conspiring for you. Louis Capaldi is an artist who wrote a song called Someone You Loved. Gentlemen, I'm having a problem with the clicker. It does not work. There we go. Someone You Loved has 3.2 billion streams. It's the number 3 most streamed song in the world. And the song is about his grandmother who passed away, and it really affected him. And it just kind of just destroyed him. And he thought, you know, I'm so used to having someone to love, and now she's gone. And then he wrote the song where it's applicable to everybody, where we all have that person that we love, and then all of a sudden it just kind of goes away. You may not know the song, or you may know the song. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and play just a minute of the song. I want you to read the lyrics. I want you to think about it, see if you've heard this song before. If we're going to go ahead and play the song.
I'm going on during this time. I feel there's no one to save me. This all and nothing really got away. You're driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
How many of you guys have heard that song before? Amazing, right? The lyrics are unbelievable. That song launched his career. He had 6 number 1 songs. He had 2 number 1 albums. He sold 15 million albums and sold over 1 million concert tickets, all within 2 years. But, and imagine this, you're a young kid, you have this dream, you want to become somebody, you want to make it in the world, and now you're one of the most streamed songs in the world. And then this external pressure came in to perform, to be perfect, to fit that next level. And it started destroying him. He actually formed tics, nervous tics, where he'd be on stage and he would just tick. He had crippling anxiety, and he actually formed Tourette's. Not like I have Tourette's on stage, like real Tourette's. Like he got real serious Tourette's, where he just physically couldn't perform. He ended up gaining 40 pounds. He ended up almost destroying his entire career because of this external pressure. And I want to go back to that original question. Do you feel the world is conspiring against you or for you? He was invited to sing at Glastonbury in Europe. 200,000 people in the concert. So you talk about the pressure to perform, and we've got a sold-out show here, and it's fantastic. But you're talking 200,000 people. He took off 3 weeks before for his mental health, just to have the ability to perform. He got on stage, got through the first chorus, and then broke down. His tics started hitting in. He couldn't sing. I'm going to play you a live video from him performing. And I go back to that question. Is the world conspiring against you or for you? And I want you to watch how the world responded to him in his time of need. If we go ahead and play that video.
Listen. Just to know.
The world is here for you guys. The world wants you to be successful. I had a very similar experience to that, where September of 2020, we're in the heart of COVID. I launched the D.R.I.V.E book. I order a couple thousand, they come in, and they're ruined. And I remember making a post to you. And I remember one of you said, Woody, you're a hot mess, man. Just sell the hot mess version. And we sold out in 24 hours. You guys saved me that day, and it just reignited me and fueled me to keep going. The world wants you to be successful. Think of it this way. Hate has 4 letters, so does love. Enemies has 7 letters, so does friends. Is there another clicker? This clicker is broken. Lying has 5 letters, truth, so does truth. Cry has 3 letters, so does joy. Negativity has 10 letters, so does positivity. External has 8 letters, and so does internal. The choice is yours. You have to make a better choice. You get to decide what you want to be. When it comes to motivation, it's either external or internal. When we are externally motivated, we look to other people, places, or things. So when we're external, we feel this fear, this anxiety, this exhaustion, depression, loneliness, doubt, scarcity, pride, ego. It destroys us. There's been a lot of people who've destroyed companies based off their own externalness, their own motivation. You take Steve Jobs, founded Apple in 1976, was fired 9 years later. His externalness, they kicked him out. You got Travis, who started Uber, fired within 8 years. You've got Jerry Yang, who was at Yahoo for 18 years and was fired. You got Andrew at Groupon, who started Groupon, fired within 5 years. Jack Dorsey at Twitter, fired within 2 years. That's crazy. Imagine you are the owner of a publicly traded company and you get fired from it. How humiliating would that be? Just a funny, ironic side note, as I was doing my research, I couldn't find a woman who started a public company who ever got fired from her own company. Just saying. Whatever you guys are doing, it's working. Just saying. But then we go even deeper. Let's look at just employees. Why did they leave? They interviewed 19,700 employees who left their job, and they said the number one reason why they quit is they didn't feel recognized. They felt unimportant. They didn't feel valued at their company. How many of you guys ever quit your job because you didn't feel valued at a company? Because your boss was external or your company was external? So let's go Disney, because it's not a Woody speech if it doesn't have a Disney article in it. So if you look at this year, or it was actually 2023, it's the 100-year anniversary of Walt Disney Corporation. And they have done so many animated classics. But just for fun, how much do you think all those movies combined has generated? And the reason I ask you this is, I actually spent an afternoon Googling every single one to see the gross worldwide sales. So just for fun, how much do you think? Just shout out a number. 100 billion? 300 million? Billion? What else? Trillion? Yeah, you would think so, right? This is crazy. It is actually only $38,730,175,839. That's it. 100 years of work is only $38 billion. Now, in 2001, Disney made a major mistake. They got on the wrong side of this woke movement, a very external movement. Now, I'm all for people being identified and recognized. I have respect for all humanity. But they took it too far, and they went in a really negative angle. And that actually ended up costing them $200 billion in stock devaluation in 2 years. So if it took them roughly 100 years to make $40 billion, that's the equivalent of 500 years they lost in 2 years by being external. Crazy, right? Let's go to Google Gemini, the new AI. In one day, it lost $70 billion because it was so externally woke that when people would say, okay, show me the NFL, or show me what people looked like in early America, or pictures of the founding fathers. And they made people that did not exist during that time in those roles. And then what happened to that entire AI industry? It lost $179 billion in one day. Does being external have a cost? You better believe it. Every time we are motivated externally, every time we look to other people, places, or things to validate us in our personal life, our relationships, or our career, we lose every single time. No questions asked. Fortunately, there's an option. You can do it internally. Internally is for you, by you. It is hope, confidence, strength, faith, courage, vision, clarity, and charity. It's all that you want in life. And you can have it for you, by you. The world's been searching for this concept of internal for centuries. Go back and look at the different people who've researched it. Socrates said, to find yourself, think for yourself. Buddha said, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. I actually went through countless religious scripts, from Christianity to Muslims to Buddhism. I just looked at all of them, and every single one of them had the same exact thread of this internalness. In the Bible, it says, for God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Right? That's beautiful. You were given that at birth. That is your birthright. And we throw it away because we want other people's acceptance, recognition, and appreciation. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Now, you've seen it visually. You got the women's suffrage movement standing up for women's rights. And you also have seen it when Rosa Parks sat down for segregation's rights. And then you look at Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech. And one of my all-time favorite images in history is what's referred to as Tank Man. This little man right here was coming home, has his groceries in plastic sacks. This is in China, in Tiananmen Square, and the Chinese military is coming in to really force their communist beliefs on everybody. And he just stood there. And the tank stopped. One man stopped an army. That's what it means to be internal, to stand up for things that just aren't right, but not try to force your beliefs on other people. Let's look at Will Smith and Tyler Perry, both in Hollywood. Will Smith had one of the most illustrious careers anyone has ever had. 8 number 1 hits in a row. I think only Tom Cruise and Jim Carrey have ever pulled that off. He is a worldwide phenomenon, loved around the world. 2016, he's mad at the Oscars because they're not recognizing minorities. That's the truth. No one's disagreeing with that. But he makes such an external stink about it, and he's going to boycott it, and it becomes this huge issue. And then 2022, what happens? The slap that was heard and seen around the world. His externalness made him literally sacrifice his entire career in 3 seconds. He was in negotiations to sell his production company, Overbrook Entertainment, for just under $1 billion. That fell through, and now it's only valued at $178 million. He lost 80% of the value of his company, and he lost every single production deal. Movies that were already done and in the can, they canceled on him. They didn't release them. Take Tyler Perry. Grew up in an abusive home, sexually, mentally, physically. Horrific childhood. Wanted to get into Hollywood. Wasn't the Will Smith style. It didn't have music, didn't have anything to get him into it. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own movies. In fact, I'll play every single character in my movie if I have to. Didn't care, just internally thought, I'm gonna do it. And instead of complaining that Hollywood isn't doing it the way he wants it done externally, he said, well, I'll just build my own studios, for crying out loud. I'll make my own movies, I'll write my own scripts, I'll direct them, I'll do it myself. I don't need permission from the world. I can do it me. I don't need anyone else to give me that permission. He built this studio not in Hollywood, Atlanta, Georgia. There's my Atlanta people. Hottest place in hell I've ever been. That's my first. By the way, I get one cuss word. That's my first. I'm sticking with that one. But when he opened up his studio, he said this, and I think this is the most internal. Oh, this is going to be hard to get through. This is, I think, one of the greatest things that has ever been recorded. It said, during the Civil War, the studio was once a Confederate army base, which meant there were Confederate soldiers on this base plotting and planning on how to keep 3.9 million Negroes enslaved. Now that land is owned by one Negro. That to me is so beautiful. He didn't complain. He went out and he made it his way. When it comes to internally motivated people, they do not compete against other people. They compete against themselves. Tyler Perry was not competing against all the other black people in Hollywood for the certain roles. He was competing about himself, what he could do, what he could make. In the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Muzza was from Qatar and Gianmarco is from Italy. And they have been competing against each other their entire lives. They got down to the final competition. They both cleared 2.37 meters, which is 7.8 feet. So if I raise my hand above my head, that's that high. They're literally jumping over me. 3 attempts, and they can't make it to 2.39. Now here's the situation. Traditionally, it's always been this way. Now it just becomes a jump off. They just raise it by centimeters and seeing what and how high the furthest one can jump. And then Mutez asked a certain question. Think about this question he asked, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the video now, but I just want you to think of what would you do in that situation? Would you fight, complain? What would you do? He asked one question. Go ahead and play the video.
It's the time. We can continue with the jump off.
Can we have 2 gold?
It's possible. It depends if you decide, if you both decide on the jump.
The moment is like, of course, the sport we know, that's a performance, but humanity, solidarity, unity. It's just like, peace coming all together. This is beyond sport. This is a true message, so I'm really proud of that moment.
Isn't that crazy? Can we have 2 golds? And the guy with the clipboard, he's like, well, it's possible. They didn't even care. They're like, you want to do it? I'll give you got a gold, I got a gold. And they just start losing their minds. I absolutely love that because it is the spirit. Why does someone have to lose for you to win? We can all have 2 golds. In fact, the last time that happened was in 1912. It took that long for someone to say, can we have 2 golds? Because there's been ties all the way along. Over the hundreds of years, there have been tons of ties. But he was internal enough to say, hey, I want a gold, but I'm not offended if my competitor gets gold either. So you see in sports, you see in personal life, you also see in business. Dove came out with their new firming thing, their lotion. And traditionally, you guys have all seen it. Usually fashion brands and perfume, cosmetics, they always go with the rail thin person that is really not even a real human being. And they say, well, this is what we've defined as beauty. And Dove said, wait a minute. 99.99% of people do not look this way. So they put up billboards around the Europe and around the US in subways, huge billboards, gray or gorgeous, trying to create this debate, this conversation. Like, why have we all of a sudden said beauty is this when nobody looks like this? And they said, what if you just accept yourself? And what if we have a lotion that can just help you accept yourself? That's all we're asking for. Here's what happened to them. Go ahead and play that next video.
I'm a forensic artist, worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw?
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm going to ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter, sadder too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.
Thank you for playing that video. Appreciate it. We've got to be nicer to ourselves. We have to start to just change the way we see the world, because the world is a reflection of the way that we see it. If we think we aren't good enough, then the world treats us that way. It's just a reflection. But if you internally validate who you are, accept who you are, and move in that direction, as Jay was talking earlier today, you see the world as surprisingly beautiful and kind and considerate to you. But you have to first identify what drives you. Now, I know a lot of you here have gone through your drive, and I am grateful and honored by that, and Jay was talking about which drive, and you guys already knew it. I'm going to have you go through your drive again, but I want you to actually think about it for the very first time. Since COVID, I've talked about almost every one of my clients, and 80% of them have had a change of their drive since COVID. Because your drive is created by dramas and traumas. And have we all had some drama and trauma in the last 3-4 years? A little shocking, right? So as I pull up the next slide, I'm going to have you define what makes you feel important. Now, what makes you feel important is different than what's important to you. So work and family can be important to you. Work and family may not make you feel important. I'm looking for that emotion where you really feel on top of the world, connected to your true self, your true identity. It's not about being more important than somebody else. It's about truly connecting to who you are. So what I want you to do is I want you to read each one of the cards, the D, the R, the I, the V, the E, and I want you to write them on a scratch piece of paper in front of you. Just put the initial, D-R-I-V-E, and put them in order based on which card has the most amount of words on it that makes you feel important. Not what is important to you, it's what makes you feel important. I'm going to take 3 to 4 minutes. Stu, if we could have some very quiet, very mellow music. I don't want you guys to talk to anyone. I want you just to be in the moment. Just really focus. As we do this, if you get stuck between two of them, like I can't decide between the E or the I, simply ask yourself, which one could you not live without? Your subconscious mind will bring it to the forefront. You'll know exactly which one it is. And just put them in order based on what makes you feel important. A little softer, Stu, just real soft. Thanks, bud. get stuck between one or two, simply just ask yourself, which one could you not live without?
I don't believe in fretting and grieving. Why mess around with strife? I never was cut out to step and strut out. Give me the simple life. Some find it pleasant, dining on pheasant. Those things roll off my knife. Just serve me tomatoes and mashed potatoes. Give me the simple life. A cottage small is all I'm after. Not one that's spacious and wide. A house that rings with joy and laughter. And the one you love inside. Some like the high road, I like the low road, free from the care and strife. Sounds corny and seedy, but yes indeed, I like the simple life.
There's no right or wrong. Just go with your gut instinct. Put them in order based on what makes you feel important.
With one who's willing to be a farmer's wife. Kids calling me pappy, sure make me happy. Give me the simple life.
We'll give you about another minute. If you need more time, go ahead and take a screenshot of it so you can do it from your chair.
I've been around the world in a plane, settled revolutions in Spain. The North Pole I have charted, but I can't get started with you. At the golf course I'm under par. Metro Goldwyn wants me to start.
All right. Thank you very much, Stu. Appreciate that. All right. Has everyone got them? All right. Perfect. Okay. Now the rest, we're going to play. Let's just have some fun here, shout out some stuff. So if you are a D, you're what's called a director. Directors are motivated by lifestyle. If you're a director, raise your hand. Want to see it? All right. Yeah. Throw in some cheers. I like that. I love the energy. So directors are motivated by having a free and adventurous spirit. They're very creative and passionate, and they're very purpose-driven. So for my directors, is that accurate? Yes. Oh, I love it. Thank you. For the R's, that's relator. Relator is motivated by community. They're all about relationship focus, loyal and service-minded, compassionate and giving. So where's the relators? Yes. Is that accurate for you guys? Thank you. I is intellectual. They're motivated by systems. So they're very intellectually curious, knowledge-driven, and task-oriented. Where's my intellectuals? Beautiful. That's more. Okay, last week I was at an event, 400 people in the room. There was 3 intellectuals. It almost felt creepy. It was weird. Where's my V for validators? Yes, love it. You guys are trustworthy and respectful, self-accepting, confident, and are a massive team motivator. Is that accurate for you guys? Beautiful. E is executives. Where's my executives? Yes. You guys are driven. You're the show me the money audience. You want proof. It's all about wanting to win, being very productive and efficient. Is that accurate for you guys? Yes. Okay. Now, I'm going to read you one paragraph based on each drive. When I get to yours, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about your personal life. I want you to think about your career. I want to think about your relationships, how you show up in the world. I want you to see and feel as I read each one of these. So for directors, we'll go first. Go ahead and close your eyes. They enjoy a good challenge and love to feel free and independent. They thrive on being creative, discovering new things, and experiencing life. They are great in social settings, putting together a variety of people and making something happen. They find joy in overcoming obstacles and making a difference in the world. Go ahead and open your eyes. Is that accurate? Beautiful. Our relators, close your eyes. They know how to build strong, long-term, healthy relationships. In the workplace, their strength is in networking and building other people up to a higher level of productivity. They garner energy and security through their relationships. They are loyal to their friends and are service-minded. Go ahead and open your eyes. Is that accurate? All right. I like that. Hit home on that one. Intellectuals. Go ahead and close your eyes. They are stimulated intellectually either through books, speeches, research, conversations, or organization. Success comes when they accomplish a task. They'd rather be learning something new than lying around. They are driven to understand and to be more knowledgeable. They like to share what they know with others. Go ahead and open your eyes. Is that accurate for you guys? Beautiful. All right. I love the participation this early in the morning. Validators. Go ahead and close your eyes. They enjoy intimate small groups of people where they're being validated. Often they are wonderful at giving validation to others. Their confidence stems from the strength of their relationships. If they feel like they are in a healthy, caring, and trusted relationship, they feel strong, secure, and loved. Good to open your eyes. Is that accurate? All right. Thank you. Executives, close your eyes. They are productive and thrive on getting the job done. Task-oriented and focused on getting results. They do not like small talk and would prefer tackling a project rather than sitting around wasting time. They are happiest when they are pursuing or achieving their desired goal. Is that accurate for you guys? All right. Let's look at some other famous people who have your exact drive. Billionaires and celebrities and people who've changed the world. So if you're a director, Elon Musk, Beyonce, Richard Branson, and J.K. Rowling are also directors. If you're a relator, Oprah Winfrey, the Dalai Lama, Taylor Swift, and Martin Luther King Jr. were all relators. Our intellectuals, Albert Einstein, Michelle Obama, Warren Buffett, and Jeff Bezos. Yeah, there you go. Validators, Mark Cuban, Brene Brown, Howard Schultz, and Emma Watson. If you don't know who Howard Schultz is, he's the reason why you have Starbucks. Kobe Bryant, Sheryl Sandberg, Steve Jobs, and Serena Williams. If you don't know who Sheryl is, she's by far the most powerful woman in Silicon Valley. She was the COO of Facebook for 15 years. So when it comes to your drive is neutral by nature. So earlier we talked about this internal and external validation, and so it's the same when it comes to your drive. I don't consider it good or bad. I don't like the words good or bad because we put moral value on it. I like efficient and inefficient. When we are externally motivated, when we are looking to other people, places, or things, we feel this fear, this anxiety, the ego, the depression, the loneliness, the doubt, the scarcity, the pride, the exhaustion, all comes when we're chasing that external validation. But fortunately, there's a shift. You can go internal. Learning how to meet your drive, validating internally, gives you this power of hope, confidence, strength, faith, vision, courage, charity, and clarity. Giving you the ability to see what's out there. When you think about young children, would you not agree they are very internally motivated? Like if you've ever been to Walmart, this is my favorite experience. You go to Walmart, because I'm always in the Lego aisle, and you'll see this like 3-year-old and fighting against like a 6'8" father because she wants a certain toy. Not gonna back down, doesn't care. They're so internally motivated, they're not intimidated by anything. Children are beautiful. They're so pure, they're so just internally motivated, they're not worried what the world thinks. So 2 friends, Jax and Reddy, decided they want to play a trick on their teacher. They wanted to see if their teacher would notice if they got matching haircuts. So they both shaved their head just so their teacher wouldn't know which one was which. Ended up on CNN, true story, funniest thing ever. Teacher wide-eyed, and then understood what was happening and started to play along. It was absolutely beautiful. So when you think about why we feel external, when we think about what causes us to be external, I'm going to give you permission really quick to realize it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're screwed up because your weird parents raised you based off their drive, not yours. Not your fault. Think about when you went to kindergarten. Up to that age, You are so internal, you'll take on the world. You have dreams, you have visions, you'll become anything. But something happens in kindergarten. We line up against the wall, we compare each other based off height, eye color, skin color, hair color, what your dad or mom does for work, where you live, your zip code. And then we go on recess. And then we compare to everybody else on recess. Then you come back, you gotta raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Sit up, shut up, sit down, do this, do that. You're constantly being compared to everybody else. Then you go to middle school. You're in middle school, now you don't have just 30 kids in the classroom, now you have 6 classrooms of 30. So every day you're comparing yourself to 180 people. Then you've got lunch, and now you're surrounded by thousands of people. And now you're trying to fit, do I fit in, do I not fit in? And now cliques start to develop. And now hormones start to kick in, and your teeth start going sideways, and zits are coming out. Now you don't know if you're good enough for anything. And then we throw you into high school. So if you had any self-doubt or unworthiness before high school, now you are messed up. Like, it's over. Now you got hormones kicking through you, and you're crazy, and you don't know what to do. And now you're 16 years old, you get your license, and your parents tell you, well, you got to get a job, you got to provide for yourself, but I pay your insurance, so you got to have the car home at this time, and now you have a curfew, but yet you got to be an adult. And then if you're fortunate enough to actually graduate, and now you're going out into the real world, but you go off to college, and now they put you on a bell curve so you know exactly how stupid you are compared to all the 30,000 people at your college. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane that we think, and we're shocked or surprised that we have a mental health issue in the world right now, yet this has gone on for generations. Pull your head out, give me a break. It's not designed for us to be healthy or happy. And I am not a conspiracy theorist in the least, and I don't believe the world is going against you. You will never hear me say that, because I do not believe that. It just wasn't designed properly. That's all it is. So how do we get internal? If all these things happen negatively in the world, wars, I've been fortunate enough to go into the prison system, interview inmates, and I have found the only reason they were in there was because of some external action they were trying to feel validated from. That was it. Think about that. You see a small child, you don't see a criminal. You have to be taught to be a criminal. You see a small child, you don't see racism. You have to be taught to be racist. We are taught this way. So if that's the truth, then the reverse has to also be true. We can teach ourselves how to be internal. We can change the world the very moment, the very second we become internal, and then we inspire others to do the same. When we are liberated, we give courage and strength to liberate others. Here's how it works. You have a primary and secondary drive. Your primary drive is the first drive you chose. Your secondary drive is the second one you chose. It's also your why and how. Why you do what you do, and also how you go about it. So let's do a case study. Let's take Taylor Swift. She's a relator, so this is why she does what she does. She's all about her fans. I mean, if you don't know anything about Taylor, she is fan-centric. She's a relator, she's all about her fans. She has this thing called Swiftmas, where she literally just sends random presents to her fans. She'll be invited to show up at people's weddings, birthdays, hospital visits, and she'll do it all the time. But how did she become so successful? How did she become the greatest icon of this generation? It's her secondary drive. She is an executive on her secondary. So when Apple came out with Apple Play, not CarPlay, but Apple Music, and they were gonna do a free subscription for 3 months. Now, she stood up, posted basically a PR letter in the paper, said, you know what, Apple, we love you, you're amazing, and we're so grateful for all your technology, but what you're doing is not fair to the artists. He said, I'm not worried about me, I am financially okay, but I am worried, this is the relator side, I am worried about the other artists who risked everything, put their entire production on a credit card, hoping that the launch of their songs would pay off that credit card and make them some money. And here, you're not gonna pay anybody for 3 months. And this is the proof part. She goes, we don't ask you for free iPhones, don't ask us for free music. Powerful, right? So powerful, it's such a reassociation. Tim Cook, the CEO, within 24 hours said, you know what? We will still make it free for everybody for 90 days. We'll just pay the royalties out of our own pocket. That's the power of tapping into your secondary drive. She didn't complain and moan. She internally just took advantage of the situation and said, hey, just saying, we're not asking for free iPhones. Don't ask for free music. When Big Records Time Machine, who bought her masters, was being sold to another company, she tried to buy her masters back. They wouldn't sell it to her. She'd already produced 6 albums. But in her contract, she had a right that she could re-record her own music. But she fought and she tried to get her music back and they wouldn't sell it to her. So she decided to re-record Taylor Swift's version now versus when it was. Well, when the new record company who owned the rights saw it, they said, well, we'll release the greatest hits because they legally own the rights to it. So she made one simple post. Dear fans, I love you. I am here because of you. They're going to release a greatest hits album. I'm in the next couple years going to be re-recording all of my music. Please do not buy that greatest hits album. This is where I want to use my second curse word that I don't get. That was pretty bad, eh? Like that was pretty ballsy. That was impressive. Guess how many albums sold of our greatest hits? 33. 33 albums. This woman sells 1 million albums a month. 33 people just didn't get the notice. That's how powerful tapping into that internal drive. Her Eras tour right now is just crushing it. She decided to film the movie about her tour. She went to all the Hollywood studios and said, hey, we've already filmed it. We've already edited it. We've already recorded everything. We just want to go through you for distribution. Every one of them turned her down. This happened last year, by the way. She's at the height of her career, selling out stadiums worldwide, and everyone says, concert movies aren't that successful. We don't want to do it. We're not interested. Yeah, you know where this is going. That's what I love about you guys. You know exactly where this is going. So she said, fine, I'll do it myself. She called up AMC and said, hey, I've got this movie that's finished. You own movie theaters. What if we just released it together when you cut out Hollywood? They said, absolutely. I would love to do that. She pre-sold. Now think about a movie. They don't pre-sell movie tickets. Like you pre-sell concerts, you don't pre-sell movie tickets. She pre-sold $100 million before the release date. It did $250 million within 3 months, being the highest grossing concert movie of all time, and nobody in the future will ever touch that. Disney last week just signed a $75 million deal to stream it on Disney+. Right? That's powerful. That's that internal validation, realizing she was in power and she was in control. She has the highest grossing tour of all time. Estimated that she will generate $5 billion. $5 billion during a pandemic. She has governments calling her team, begging for her to come to their city, clearing stadiums just so she'll come because she has that much of an impact. I went and I saw on the news and stuff, you see all the pictures. I saw something I've never seen before and I do not think I'll ever see again. Every concert sold out worldwide. About 30,000 people show up in the parking lot just to be outside the stadium. So they started putting speakers outside the stadium for free, and now they have a concert inside and a concert outside just because that relator side of her doesn't want her fans not to be able to have an experience. So they're having parking lot parties, like an NFL game tailgating for Taylor Swift. That is the power of being internal. So you have your primary and your secondary drive. Another way to consider it, think about a car. The car is the direction you are heading. So she's a relator. Her direction is relationships. But you have a fuel that allows you to do that. That is your secondary drive. The fuel takes you to your destination. So the car is your primary, fuel is your secondary. Your other 3 drives, they fluctuate and they move based off the environment and the situation that you're in. So I'm what's called a director executive. But drive is very intellectually created. It's very systematic, but that's not what makes me feel important. So the other 3 parts of your drive do fluctuate and they do move based on the environment and situation you are in. But what happens when you get stuck? We all do it. I'm going to share something with you I've never shared from stage before. I want to teach you how to recover from anything, because you have a choice whether to be internal or external. And I'm going to go in the audience. I'm going to walk you through first, but then I'm going to go in the audience and I'm going to pick on so-and-so. Anyone who has had an experience recently where you really feel struggle, like you really feel like the pain, you feel like the pressure. I would like you to raise your hand in a moment, and I'll walk out to you, and we'll walk you through your drive, and I'll coach you in a moment. Okay, so this is called the 3 R's of recovery. Write this down. First R is reassess. Identify your primary drive, what part is being offended. So reassess means you look at your drive, your primary, key point here, your primary drive. What is wrong? What is being offended with your primary? Second R, realign. Internally validate your secondary drive. So this is the fuel. Think about your car is broken down on the side of the freeway. It ran out of gas. That's the reassess. The realign is, okay, what am I going to do for me, by me, to fuel it? Then you look at your secondary drive. What actions can you take? Then the third is now re-engage. Now that you feel more internal, now that you feel like you internally validate yourself, you have the power to move forward. So it's reassess, realign, re-engage. So just for fun, let's do this real quick. If we could turn the lights on a bit. Oh, there's the hand right there. We'll go right there. Perfect. Think of a moment where you really felt tired, frustrated, or exhausted, and being in the present moment would be fantastic. And let's walk through this. Where was the hand? I saw the hand. Right. Okay. So tell me a time recently that you felt frustrated, exhausted.
So, you know, I consult people, I work with people, and then, you know, you give up yourself and they fall short on their promises, and then there's like no reciprocation. So I feel like both I've switched out of director, and both my relator and the secondary validator get offended at the same time.
Beautiful.
And it kind of sucks the wind out of me.
It does. Okay. So how many of us have had that experience where you have an expectation, it doesn't get met, and you get leveled? Write this down. Expectations without implementations equals frustrations. So expectations without implementations equals frustrations. So we get exhausted. We have this expectation, which is external. We're looking to other people, places, or things to get our drive met. It doesn't get met. We get wiped. They don't even care. They don't even know that you're exhausted. So expectations without implementations equals frustrations. So Keith, in that situation, you're a relator validator. So on that primary drive, what part of your relationships are being offended?
Let me take a quick look at my cards. So, influence.
Okay, so that's the key. Number one, reassess. Identify what part of your primary drive is being offended the most. So your secondary drive is realign. So being a validator, what can you do, and this is the key, what can you do for you, by you, not other people, for you, by you. So as a validator, acceptance, recognition, what can you do for you, by you to feel in the moment?
I guess it's between like respect and praise.
So the very thing that you're looking for from other people, you give to yourself. So respect that you presented the way you wanted to present. Validate yourself that you did what you want to do. Whether they accept or not is their right. But as long as you know you were prepared, you were ready, and you went forward, then all is well. Then the third step is now re-engage. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Give me a round of applause. And I'll show you guys how to do it. Okay, so this is how you fuel your secondary drive. If your secondary is director, this is the fuel. Do something that makes you feel free and independent. Pursue your life's purpose, experience something new and creative. If your secondary drive is relator, then what you want to do is treat yourself. Reach out to your community. Forgive yourself or anyone else who's caused you pain. Go ahead and turn the lights down again. Thank you very much. That is your secondary fuel. If your secondary is intellectual, seek advice from other people. You have to be very internal to be humble enough as an intellectual to think someone's smarter than you. So think about, how do I reach out to someone I know, like, and trust for that information? Organize based on priority. Break the problems down into smaller steps. If validated as your secondary drive, like Keith, list your strengths. List the very things that you are already doing well, the very thing that you're looking for from someone else, give it to you. Seek the advice of a trusted source. Reflect on the positive impact you've already had on others. If executive is your secondary drive, research, gather proof, set small obtainable goals, let go of what you cannot control. This is the secret to really moving forward in your life, to change and shift. Now, a lot of you know, if we follow each other on Facebook, that the last 4 months I've been working really hard on something new. Really trying to shift and change the direction of Drive. And I want to reveal that to you now and then give you an opportunity where we can work together with it. So thank you, I appreciate that. Go ahead and get your credit cards out now if you'll love it. All right, so it's true, but it's true. So we've created Drive on Demand. Like a lot of you guys have the Prophets course and you got all the different things. What we did is we broke down new videos, new training, all on your personal life. So we have 30 plus training videos and we're adding more constantly. My goal is to get to 100 new training videos. And these videos are 20 to 15 minutes. So think about TED Talks, where the Prophets course is 6 hours on one subject. I wanted you guys to have Drive on Demand. You get stuck, go through the library and say, oh, that's the one that I want. That one will shift me right here, right now. So your personal life, we have videos. Your relationships, how you communicate with other people, and your career. Whether you're selling Renatus or whether you're working at home or you're working in a building, it's all about how do you have the right drive for you, showing up the right way, but then also how do you increase your sales based off their drive. Thank you very much. The next thing I am insanely excited about because I shared it last year, but it was nowhere near ready because just how much AI has changed. I charge a ridiculous amount, and it's a ridiculous amount for one-on-one coaching. I thought, how do I create an opportunity for you guys to get access 24 hours a day? So I shifted the direction I went, and I created the 24-hour Drive AI Coach, where the entire program is now perfected. It is live, it is online. You can go in there and type in any question specific to your drive, and it will answer it flawlessly. So this is a live one I did. I'm an RE and I'm struggling to feel confident. What can I do? Like we've all had that experience, right? You're just going through the day like, man, I just don't feel good. Like, what can I do? And I literally typed that in this morning and here was the answer. Leveraging your strengths, your relationships, that is the relator side. Goal-oriented, that is the executive side. And then embracing your challenges. And it gave me 20, I could only fit 2 on here. Then I said, okay, let's do something fun. Let's say you're in a relationship. I'm an EI. You don't even have to write in executive and intellectual. It knows what EI stands for. I'm an EI and my partner is a DV. Where will we have challenges and success in our relationship? I did this yesterday at lunch with Loretta and Perrin. Where are you guys at? Right there. Okay, this was hysterical. So I'm sitting there and I told them about the AI. I'm like, ask me any question. And they asked a question. I thought, that's not the question I want to answer. I want to answer, what's wrong with my marriage based off my drive? And they looked at it like, that's it. That's 100% accurate. How's that so good? I'm like, that's what a year and 2,000 hours is worth. So here's the answer. It breaks down your communication styles, how each one of you speaks. It changes your strengths, your weaknesses. It gives you the feedback. So no longer do you have to wait once a year or once or twice a year when I see you guys in the hallway and you say, well, Woody, I have this problem. It's my favorite question. I love it. I love to answer questions. But what if you could have access to 24 hours, instantly, all the time? Then I thought, well, that's not enough. What if we really go deeper? What if we create an assessment based on each drive? Now, you go online and you can do all these silly assessment tests, but they're not really concrete. They don't go deep, especially not one of them. I'll be very clear here. And I have nothing against other assessments. Not one of them will teach you how to be internal. Not one. That is the power of Drive. And it is the power, and I appreciate that. Oh, I'm going to break down. I'm trying my hardest. I'm almost done. Let me pause for a moment. I thank you. Do you realize that Drive would not be where it is today if it wasn't for every one of you? I want you to think about that for a second. I've been doing this for 18 plus years. But when I came here to Bob, and he said, okay, I'll give you a shot. And it originally was called emotional fingerprint, and it's morphed over the years, but same intellectual property. Think about it as, I don't want to sound selfishly, but think about me for a second. You're a speaker. You're going back to a similar audience day in and day out. You have to create original new content. You guys developed D.R.I.V.E with me. I never think D.R.I.V.E is mine by own. I believe it is yours. You created the conversations, all my one-on-one clients, all my group coaching clients, all those discussions like Jay was saying. D.R.I.V.E is never finished. I remember when Walt Disney, on a ceremony, if you watch, he said, as long as there's imagination left in the world, Disneyland will never be done. And I feel that way about D.R.I.V.E. As long as there are humans who are still striving to figure themselves out, D.R.I.V.E will never be finished. So I thought, how do I give back to you? You are the ones who've helped me build D.R.I.V.E to what it is today. So I thought, okay, what if I create an assessment? You can go online right now. There's a website I'll show you in a moment where you can discover your D.R.I.V.E. You don't have to put your email in. You'll get 3 paragraphs that'll tell you your D.R.I.V.E. But if you put your email in, it'll give you this. A 57-page assessment, that didn't work, based on your D.R.I.V.E. I want you to see how far that goes. That is all the way down. That is 57 pages in color, your personal life, your relationships, your career, everything to help you understand what drives you. There are 20 D.R.I.V.E combinations. So if you think about that, that is 57 pages. That's 12,500 words per D.R.I.V.E. That's 241,800 words that I did this year for you. That is my gift to you. And it is 100% yours. I want you to understand you do not have to go at this alone. I've changed the entire model of D.R.I.V.E so that you are never struggling by yourself again. You're welcome. Thank you guys. So, can being internally motivated be profitable? We're at a real estate seminar. We're here to learn about ourselves. We're here to understand how do we make more money. So can being internal change your business? Absolutely. A lot of you have already experienced it. So let's look at OpenAI. Sam Altman founded it with a bunch of other people in 2015. He was fired last year on November 17th, on a Friday. On Monday, when the 730 employees found out, they wrote a letter. All of 700 of those 730 signed it and said, if you fire Sam, we're going with him. Think about that. Like leaving. They said, the board fired Sam, and they said, okay, the vice president, you're now the president. He said, I won't take it without Sam. He was hired back in 5 days. That's insane. You talk about leadership, you talk about influence, you talk about impact. That is the power of being internal. Is that profitable? You better believe it. Because of that, Microsoft gave them $10 billion and said, we want OpenAI to be our AI system. And when he got fired, Microsoft called and said, we'll take all 700 employees. That is a major commitment. Then he was hired back 5 days later. He had to go before Congress. We've all seen this, right? At Congress, they're there, and they're ridiculing these people, and they're just butchering him. He's smiling and laughing, talking to them, because internally he knows who he is. He's not trying to prove himself to anyone. And this was like 8 months ago where AI was super scary to everybody. Even the government was like, what are we going to do? And he flat out said, it is scary. We should be scared. And he put them completely at rest. To one senator finally said, you know what? Can we hire you to run the division that will take care of the rules for AI for this government? Imagine you're going in there to get slaughtered. You create the ultimate reassociation. They offer you a job. He said, I'm very happy where I am, but I will introduce you to people I know who will do a good job. Then you take someone like a Mark Zuckerberg, who had the exact same experience. Look at the woman in the green, like she's rolling her eyes. The guy behind him is just like bags are underneath his eyes, afraid of what he's gonna say. And then you look at this other one where like no one's looking at him because he's so external in the way he's describing himself. So being internal is the fastest way to be profitable. MIT did a study, said, okay, what if we look at the most profitable companies and compare why they are profitable? So they took the top teams and they said, okay, why are they more successful? Is it skill set, intelligence? What is it? They found unanimously the number one team that won every single time was the team that could communicate. You have to be internal to communicate. You cannot do it alone. It takes a team to stream your dream. You can only have a team if you are internally motivated. Let's look at the auto industry. Dodge, Chrysler, Maserati, Pontiac, Cadillac. If you take their net worth of all these companies, meaning you take their stock, you see the value of their stock today, their market cap is $174 billion. Now, just for fun, thinking back to Disney, Disney lost $200 billion. I mean, they lost the same value of every car company combined in 2 years. But let's look at a certain competitor in that industry who's changed the game. Tesla. Elon Musk in 2014, 10 years ago, said, in the spirit of open source movement, we have made our patents public for the advancement of the electric vehicle technology. Think about, you're talking a public traded company, and then saying, you know what, we believe so much in electric vehicles, our intellectual property, the very thing that we own that is private and to us alone, we're gonna keep it. That's what most people do. He said, no, we're gonna change the world. We're here to change the world. We're gonna give it away for free. So what did that internal gesture do? His market cap is $554 billion. He is more, that company has more revenue, no, I shouldn't say revenue, more market cap, meaning their stock price valuation is higher than all those other car companies that have been around for over 100 years combined times 3. Right? So if you want to make a massive impact, you can do this. You can change your life. You can go so far, but you have to be willing to do it. You have to choose to do it. Nobody can make you do it. You've got to make a conscious decision that you are all in. Now, I know you're all in because you're here, but I want you emotionally, internally, be all in for you. And I don't mean that selfishly. I mean that self-aware. When you're on an airplane and there's turbulence, they'll say the oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling, put them on yourself first, then those around you. That is not selfish. That is being self-aware. Before I go into the close, and I steal all your credit cards, I want to tell you a story. No, you don't think I'm gonna. You haven't seen me before. I'm just joking. You know I love you guys. I really debated on telling this story. I really did. It's one of those things that was a life-changing experience for me. And it was gut-wrenching. But I need to share it. Because it's based on 100% of what we talked about today. Most of you know that my brother passed away last year. He was the CEO of ClickFunnels. He was business partners with Russell. He had ownership in ClickFunnels. There's a part I've never shared on this story. And I had his 4 boys over the house the other day just to see if I could have permission to share this story. When I met my wife, my brother Dave is 8 years older than I am, and he was like a father figure to me. He was a legend in my world. I told my wife within the first couple years we got married, I said, he won't make it till 60. Now, everybody in my family makes it till 90. My dad is 89 years old, still driving. Shouldn't be, but he's still doing it. Like, functionally, he can do it. On both sides of our family, generations back, we all hit 90. I knew in my gut Dave would never make it to 60, and he died at 57. But here's why. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but here's why I believe he passed away. With all the success that he had, all the financial success, all the accolades, Tony Robbins would send his private jet to him to pick him up to meet for dinner. Grant Cardone would send his private jet to meet him for opportunities, conversations, to do ClickFunnels. You look at on paper, he had made it. Beautiful family, 4 healthy kids, great wife, made it. This is the part that kills me. He never once felt he did. He never one time in his entire life did he ever feel inside that he had made it. All the external success of the world, never once did he feel worthy of it. He had brain cancer, and as the cancer grew, we were taking 24-hour shifts watching him. And I could tell when his conscious mind was gone and his subconscious mind would kick in. And we'd sit there and he's like, I don't have enough money. I can't provide for my family. I can't provide for my wife. And I'm like, dude, you've got legacy money. Like when your great-great-grandchildren who've never known your name are going to college for free, it's because of you. But subconsciously when he was losing his mind, he internally still didn't feel worthy. It killed me. I would sit there with this checking account and say, look how much is there. That is more than enough. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. No, I gotta get back to work. They removed part of his skull, they removed part of the cancer, and he went back to work because he didn't feel he had made it. And as I would drive him to his cancer treatments, and I'd ask him, I'm like, why didn't you ever buy a nice car for you? Like we always joked, I said, whoever makes it to 10 million first gets to buy the other person a Ferrari. And he never bought me my Ferrari. And I'm still kind of pissed about that. And I asked, why, you could have bought 10 over, like why haven't you done it? I just didn't think I deserved it. Oh. Then last week, I was talking to a woman who I think is one of the most powerful women I know. And we were coaching, we were talking, and I said, why don't you give yourself permission, because I was thinking about my brother, why don't you give yourself permission to go for it, to do what you want to do? And she said something that killed me. She said, I don't feel worthy. And I thought about you guys. How many of us don't feel worthy for success, for love, for health? Here's the part that kills me the most. There is no external acceptance, validation trophy that you can receive ever in your life that will make you feel worthy. I saw it with my brother. I am on a mission, an absolute addiction of a mission to make sure you feel worthy 24 hours a day, that you never go to sleep doubting your ability, that you never give up, quit, stop going because you don't think you're worth it. Because let me tell you, you are worth it. There's nothing in this world that will give it to you. You have to give it to yourself. You have to love yourself. Nobody can make you feel important the same way you have to do it. And it is a have to. You have to, like it is like oxygen. So here's what I've created so we can do it. I want you to think of the number one problem you want solved right now. What is it emotionally, mentally, physically? What is it that you want for you? And I'm going to close out over the next 7 minutes. This is where you get your credit card out. So, number one is, in the past, I've done one-on-one coaching and I've only done masterminds for 8 weeks. The new part of D.R.I.V.E is different. I'm no longer doing that. Last year I told you I'm not doing one-on-one coaching anymore. To me, I want to talk to you every single week, forever. I want to, and I'm serious, like forever. By law, I had to put how many weeks on the slide, but I want you to renew every single year. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Mastermind Mondays. They're 1 hour long. 30 minutes of training. So think of a very impactful, very powerful TED Talk, and 30 minutes of a Q&A mastermind where we can put it into application. The topics are gonna be your personal life, your relationships, and your career. To be a whole body, a holistic approach, you have got to cover all 3 areas. I think of it like a triangle. If one area, I'll take my brother for example, personal development, personal life, he doesn't feel worthy, what happens to the other 2 areas? They collapse. If you have a relationship that is suffering, what happens to your career and your personal life? They collapse. So the whole thing is to have a holistic approach. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so 11 if you're Central, 11 if you're Pacific, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. All the calls are going to be recorded because I know a lot of you have jobs or teams or whatever. And it starts April 8th, so 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from Monday. Put that on your calendar. So in the past, I've sold my 8 weeks coaching for $997, so it's $125 a session. So to do the 52 weeks, it's going to be $125 per session. That's $6,500. Or you can do one payment of $6,500 one payment, or monthly payments of $600. Here's the secret. It is 100% guaranteed. Now, I can't refund your money, but if you are not satisfied at any time, you do not see the value, you can cancel, no questions asked. You're not going to want to, because I'm not going to let you cancel on yourself. I'm sick of that. I'm done with people giving up on who they are. Here's the other thing. It's for your entire family. I want everybody in your family, your partner, your children, anyone under the age of 18 who's living at home, all get access to this. So if you got a family of 5, you're talking $125 a month. That is less than one therapy session anywhere. And we all know, well, I actually won't bag on that comp, but yeah, anyway, it's good. Okay, but stay with me because you know I like bonuses, but wait, there's more. Okay, because of Renatus, and because I want you to have the opportunity to share Drive to help your loved ones, we created the home party kit. So now you can invite people over to your house. You can walk them through Drive. I've already recorded the videos. You are then able to discover their Drive. And if you've taken my Drive sales course, you understand that's the secret. You know their Drive. You know how to close them. You know how to sell them. So there's 2 parts here. One, make sure your whole family understands it. Your friends understand it. Revolutionize your relationships. And then the people you want to share it with. So I did this last year as a case study. Our first time in our house, we had 12 people. In 4 weeks, we had to move out of my house and get a building because we had 70 people showing up just virally. We didn't market, advertise. I made a post every once in a while, but 70 people showed up every single Thursday night to discover their Drive. So I'm doing it for you. We have the home party kit. You get to discover your Drive video. You get the Drive assessment. So on our website, we sell these assessments for $59. You get unlimited amounts of them. So when they come to your house, you're just going to say, hey, what's your email? Here's the link. They can print it off. Or if you want to print it off, there is 57 pages per Drive. The Drive cards, we've had an issue with this because people want the Drive cards and I haven't had them in stock, so I ordered 10,000 of them. I have a fulfillment center. They're $20 a piece, but you know what? You're not paying $20. I'm going to give them to you for free. All you have to do is cover the shipping and handling. Because I want you to be able to take Drive into your home, into your careers, into your relationships to help people. So that cost is $197. But say it with me one more time, but wait, there's more. This is where the Drive videos come in. This is going to be an ongoing library. 30 are already filmed, edited, and done. We go your personal life, we go your relationships, we go with your career. Those are finished, those are done. I want to keep adding more. My goal is 100 by Christmas. I want to hit 100 by Christmas. Unique concepts, 10, 15-minute style, in-depth, powerful. You can use them with your friends and your family. If you have someone you're trying to help close, use them with them. That is $997. Last time though, but say it one more time, but wait, there's more. This is where the Drive AI coach comes in. This is $50 a month that we pay on our website. And not only is it just for you and your relationships, we've updated it. So now you can select what type of communication do you want with them. So upper right-hand corner, you log in, you join, you can discover other people's Drive. You can move the cards around on the website. You can use them on your phone. It then stores your contacts in the back office. So you log in, you know what their Drive is, you now know exactly how to communicate to them to increase your sales. Select the drop-down. You want to send an email, a text, social media post, blog, put in the prompt, and it will write it for you. You don't even have to use step 2. I'll be honest, I don't use step 2. I just go straight to the bot and say, I'm selling this person, I'm doing this, how do I communicate to them? And it does it. That's a fun one. So $50 a month, 12 months, that's $600. So let's walk it through. You get the masterminds, so that's $600 a month or $6,500 annually, so it's about a 20% savings. You get the Drive coaching at $997. You get the AI 24-hour coach at $600. You get the home party kit at $197 with as many Drive cards as you want to buy for free. I want to flood the earth with the Drive cards. You get the custom assessments that are $59, and we're doing a custom Drive Facebook group, so it's just for us. So it's, you understand your Drive, you can ask questions, and we can interact. So if you total all those up, it's $8,353. Now you guys know I'm not gonna charge you that, but let's break it down. You won't pay the $59, the $197, the $600, the $97, but you will pay the $600 a month. That part is with the cost, and it is guaranteed for your entire family. That to me is what it's about, so that you can move your business, move that needle, move your personal life, move your relationships. If I could have Bob come up, is Bob Snyder around? I have Bob come up. I want you to give a testimonial, Bob, if you would, of what has Drive done for Renatus, for the sales of the company, because you guys need to make an ROI decision. How does it help me financially? Thank you for coming up. What has been your experience?
Okay, let's see. Oh, they actually turned this on. I got mic'd up because I'm going after you.
Can I just say something really weird? I have not owned a suit in 7 years. And out of respect for Bob, I bought a suit. I walk in and we are wearing the exact same thing. That's just a little weird.
For a reason, doesn't it?
It does. Great minds think alike.
I'm just really concerned because there's a lot of folks out there that are getting FOMO right now because they didn't get the memo. Yeah.
Tonight, go buy a suit. Blue is what we're going with.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Man, great job, Woody. Fantastic. That was wonderful. Didn't you absolutely love that?
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
That was outstanding. You know what? I'll take you through a little walk down memory lane because I didn't know Woody. I met him one time in my previous company down in Southern California. And you know, years went by and, you know, I kind of forgot about the meeting and got on with our business and launched Renatus and great things were going on. And then I had Richard Stock come to me one day and he goes, Bob, you remember Woody Woodward? And I was like, yeah, a little, kind of, you know? And he goes, what Woody has done has absolutely changed my life. He says, what he's done for myself, for my team, for my family. He says, Bob, and he's developed this incredible system, and you've got to see it, because I really think it would be a huge benefit to everybody in Renatus. And I was like, yeah. Well, okay, Richard. I mean, I appreciate, you know, you sharing and the endorsement, but, you know, I don't know if we're really looking for anything. And then he pulled out the cards, and he started to lay them down. He says, look how cool this is. And I went, whoa, that's actually pretty impressive. So I agreed to meet Woody for lunch. And we went out and we had ourselves a great meal. And then Woody, of course, did what he did. And he put the cards in front of me. And I mean, we went through my own little personal assessment there and had an incredible conversation. My mind was blown. I looked at Woody and I remember what I said. I said, the genius is in its simplicity. How many years did it take you to refine this down to be so simple in its assessment? And he says, it's taken me decades. He says, it's been a lifelong work. And I was like, I can understand that as somebody who's created a lot of different things. We talked about a lot that day, right? And I was thinking, oh, I got to get this rolled out to Renatus. I got to get this out to everybody. But I've always had a philosophy, and that is you never, ever tell people to do something you're not willing to do yourself. So one of the other things that Woody was really big on back then is he sold his one-on-one coaching. I said, I want to understand this system, and I need to go through the coaching if I'm ever going to allow you to be a part of Renatus. I paid him $10,000, and he did not cut me any kind of a discount for one-on-one coaching.
I never have.
I was so thrilled and excited with the experience and everything that it did for me that I said to Richard, Richard, I want you to test this because I need the proof. I want you to test this with a small team, and I want to see where it goes in 90 days. In 90 days, the sales of that team increased 147%. 147%. And I was like, all right, man, we got to do this thing. So I invited Woody for his first time to come and speak at our national conference. We had about 1,200 people in the audience. I'll never forget. It was a monumental experience. And Woody rolled out, you know, Drive and all the cool stuff that he had to share. People not only got excited about it, they endorsed it. They were thinking, man, this is going to be a game changer. And guess what? It was. It was a huge game changer. Right after that, we hit the fastest growing companies in America on the Inc. 5000 list multiple times. You know, the Utah Best of State Awards that we've been able to give, we've won it 12 different times now. As a matter of fact, last year I was named as the Entrepreneur of the Year for that honor, which was really cool. Yeah. I've watched what it did for us in business, but let me tell you what I really have been enthralled about. What it's done for individuals and for their families. What it's done for just creating a different dynamic around conversation. I mean, the minute you have a conversation with somebody and you can tell they're getting a little external, a little bit out there, you know, you can just say, hey, you know what, hang on a minute. Could we have just a quick do-over? Because what we're discussing doesn't seem internal, and immediately they have a reassociation and it resets the clock and brings it back. Well, what he demonstrated up here over and over and over again, I mean, with different companies and how many hundreds of millions and billions of dollars were lost because some individuals or some management team or some group of folks decided to go external. Man, it's not just dollars and cents, it's lives. I love what D.R.I.V.E. does. I love what it's done for me. I love what it's done for our family. I love what it's done for our community. So, Woody, when it comes right down to it, buddy, I've never endorsed anything like I have D.R.I.V.E., and I continue to do that, and that's the reason why when he said, come up here, I thought, what am I going to say? I guess I'll tell my story.
I appreciate
what we've done is remarkable. What you've done is incredible. It's the reason why I keep calling you a creative genius. So thank you.
Thank you. Give it up for Bob. Appreciate it. If I got you guys bring my slides back up, I got 2 more slides I need to go through really quick. So, how many of you have done my one-on-one coaching or my group coaching in the past? Thank you very much. If we can go to the very last slide, yep, at the $600 price point. Yep, right there, slide 190. 190, there we go. All right, perfect. Okay, so, you're not gonna pay $600. No, we're not doing that this year. I'm gonna make this so ridiculously cheap that you will run to the back table with your credit card and get this. You will not pay $600. You will pay, the first month is $199 because I gotta activate your account and put you in the system. Then it drops down in the second month to $149 for your entire family. So if you have someone, you were talking less than like Starbucks a day for your entire family to change their life, to get internal, so that you don't end up like my brother, so that you can save your family. I'd give anything if he would have gotten internal. This is a mission for me. I want you guys to change the world around you. And the only way you can change the world around you is change your inner world. So if we can go ahead and pass out the order forms, we'll get that going. We'll put like a 7-minute clock, and as soon as that's done, then we're done. So as those order forms come out, I appreciate you guys.
Hold on.
What are you doing? You already gave your testimonial, man.
No, buddy, you know what? You've been selling from stage for way too long. I mean, you know, it's almost just like a muscle memory. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
You've completely forgotten something.
What?
I own D.R.I.V.E.
Oh. You do?
Saladio has secured the worldwide marketing rights to the D.R.I.V.E. system so that we together can change the world.
Then I will turn the time over to you, and I'll let you finish. Love you.
Give it up for Mr. Woodward.
Thank you all.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. It was hard for me to contain myself. I mean, so hard for me to contain myself. How many of you have watched Woody over the years? You've been to national conference, you've been to regional trainings, you've seen what he's been able to do, and how many of you have benefited from the D.R.I.V.E. system personally? Well, here's what's really crazy. Now you're gonna benefit in other ways, because now you get to join the movement in becoming a seller of the D.R.I.V.E. system and receiving a commission for doing it. People have always said, you know, that, that Renatus is really a personal development company, you know, wrapped up in a real estate wrapper. Well, now there's nothing more true than that very statement right there. And I am so excited that we have the ability to go out there and really transform people's lives like your life has been transformed. There's no other way to get, that happening and make things great in your own family than to become a product of the product. Now, we're going to discuss a lot today. A lot. We've got a little